Hi, I'm Pamela Windle from Smart Change and founder of the Natural Solutions for an Easy Menopause online program. And I'm here today with Lindsey, who was on my program. And Lindsey's just going to share a little bit about her experience of being on the program with me. Hi, Lindsey.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm really, really well. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you for taking the time to talk about your experience of being on the Natural Solutions for an Easy Menopause program. Should we start with, just saying a bit about how things were for you at the beginning?
Yeah.
Start working together.
Yeah, definitely. I was thinking about this a little bit in advance, thinking, crikey, what was I like? Because it's a little while ago now, and just in the summer. And I think for a couple of years, but particularly this last year, leading up to when I started working with you, I was very anxious. I wasn't sleeping well. Perhaps I should just say that I am post-menopausal through surgery, and that happened literally a year ago today. I had an operation, a hysterectomy. It was a year ago today. So, woohoo! That's what I can say about that. But obviously went straight into being postmenopausal at that time. And so I'd been perimenopausal, obviously leading up to then, and sort of not sleeping well, having a number of menopausal symptoms like hot flushes, brain fog was quite bad, and it just got a lot worse once I got into the postmenopausal aspect, if you like. And I didn't recognize myself, to be quite honest. I just thought, well, who am I now? I don't recognize this person who's anxious all the time, who'd lost complete confidence, particularly in my work situation. This brain fog was making me just forget what I was saying midway through sentences. I could almost see the word in my mind's eye, but I couldn't actually speak it because I couldn't remember what it was. It was that bad. My body was not happy with sugars, so I knew that if I was a bit of a chocoholic, and I knew that if I ate things like a packet of Maltesers, within 20 minutes of eating them, I'd be asleep. I don't know whether that's necessarily menopausal, but it was definitely something that I knew was going on with my body. What else? I've got some things. I had a lack of energy. I was really, I put on quite a bit of weight since the operation and was having a lot of trouble losing that. And my libido had completely dropped away. My husband wasn't very happy about that, and neither was I, but it's just one of those things. And I was just thinking, well, I don't recognize this person anymore, to be quite honest. And I felt really sort of miserable, totally and utterly miserable, anxious. It was just really awful. And I think the crux of the thing, it came to a head really when I got upset at work and had tears in front of my manager at work one day, and I thought, this really is the last straw, and that isn't who I normally am. I'm usually quite professional at work, and that kind of thing doesn't happen really with me. And I think that really made me sit up and think, actually, you know what, I need to do something now, because I don't like this, what's happening to me, and I don't like who I am right now. So yeah, that's how I was before the program.
Yeah, quite real. The things that you said are really real and overwhelming for you at the time. So,
absolutely.
Did you have any sort of reservations about coming on the program?
I wouldn't say I had any reservations. I've done a lot of personal development work in my past, and so I'm really quite fussy about who I work with, and that sounds awful. I don't mean it to at all. I was seeing a physiotherapist for an injury I'd had, and she is a fellow colleague of yours, and she actually said to me, well, actually, she knew how I was around these symptoms, and she said, well, you should speak to my colleague Pamela Windle, and I think she introduced us over email. And I think we acknowledged each other through that, but I didn't actually then approach you for about a good 3 months, because I signed up to your Easy Menopause Facebook page, and because I wanted to see what kind of work you do and what kind of advice you give, and I wanted to just see how that went first before I sort of approached you to actually coach me and go on your program. And so that's how I sort of gained my trust of you, if you like, because I watched and looked, and I went on your live feed a couple of times and asked a couple of questions over your live feed and things like that. So they weren't reservations. I think they were just sort of, I want to know who you are, be with you, or to work with you, in a sense. No reservations. And I guess prior to it, and actually once we'd actually talked and said, oh yeah, let's do this, I was more excited than sort of thinking, oh my goodness, it's sort of, I was raring to go, really. So no reservations, but just wanted to know that what you did and how you worked, and I did that over a period of time, I guess, leading up to. So
wow, so that was my Facebook lives in our group, Facebook group.
And absolutely, and the blogs that you put out and things, because they are still very interesting to me, and I still go on there. I might have finished the program, but I'm still very active in listening and watching and seeing what people post and what your responses are, and because I'm gaining that sort of educational side of things all the time still from you, regardless of being on the program. So I think they're invaluable, absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. So just tell us a little bit about sort of the process of working with me. How was it for you?
It was fantastic. I'm beaming because I actually loved every single minute of it. I really did. It's intense, but not in a bad way. It stops you in your tracks and actually makes you realise that you need to look at so much of what you're actually doing, what's going into your body. So you took me through, you asked me to create diaries every week for food diaries, the sleep diaries, the activity diaries, looking this is going to sound awful to people, but looking at your sort of stools and bowel movements and what type are they, etc., and all that kind of thing. But obviously all of that is so that you could actually then see what was going on, what I was putting into my body, what I was absorbing, what I wasn't, how my sleep, how that food intake was impacting on my sleep, because I wasn't sleeping through the night, and I was getting really hot, and the duvet was on and duvet was off, and then I was awake half the night, and the process of actually sort of looking at what I was eating and drinking I just could not believe it had such an impact on my sleep, and I was quite flabbergasted by that. So all of that process was pretty incredible, and even though I've finished the program, I know if I choose to eat something that I shouldn't, or not that I shouldn't, but I know it's going to have an impact on me. I know that if I eat something specific, I know I won't sleep that night. Well, then it's my choice to do that or not. But it's been so educational. I can't get over how the impacts are just amazing. And the other part of the educational sort of side of things with the online modules that you produce or provide as well were fantastic. So educational, just things I had no idea about. I can't think of an example, which is a bit of a shame. But nevertheless, it was really, really excellent. And I guess the other things which really stand out for me as in terms of the process is things like the hypnotherapy recordings that you have within the platinum, because I went on the platinum program, that sort of space on your site that you allow me to view. There was a stress release one, there was a mini stress release one, as well as a longer one, and there was the losing weight one, which I still listen to. They're really good and they make me relax so much. But things like providing, sort of bringing about an anchor so that I can click my fingers or press my finger and thumb together to bring on a calming sort of feel for myself, or if I want to have energy, I can do have another technique to make me feel more energized, and those sort of things are just fantastic. And the fact that you taught me how to do self-hypnosis, all of these things are just have created such a fantastic toolbox for me that I know that if I need some support, I can have that literally at a click of a finger for myself. I don't need to come back to you as such, unless there was something extra that I need to come back to you for. But I know that I've got all of that toolbox in place, and I can sort my issues out myself by doing that. So I think it's absolutely brilliant. And the one-to-one, even though it's online, so we want the face face-to-face coaching but online every week, was just so supportive. I mean, I did feel incredibly supported. I can't sort of stress that enough to people, whoever might be listening to this. It is really, really brilliant. So if you want to invest anything on yourself, I'd do this program. So it's superb.
Wow, thank you. So with that then, what was the one best thing or best result that you got from working with me?
I actually found, I mean, obviously you get in advance to actually sort of have a think about what I wanted to say, which was really good, because I've had some good thoughts about this, but reflection time. But I really struggled with this question because there are so many good things that came out of it that I've decided on one best thing, but I'm going to tell you about a few little other things as well, because they're not so little either. Now this is going to sound like I'm a baby. When we say, "Oh, the baby's slept through the night," or "the baby's sleeping through the night," but I can actually, categorically say that I am sleeping through the night now, and it's such a relief. Thank goodness. My energy levels have raised hugely. I am sleeping. I'm eating better. I feel much more energized from the food that I'm eating. And I don't think my diet was that horrific in the first place, but the tweaks, they're not big changes, they're small changes and small tweaks. And that's what I think is so good, because people don't have to cut out masses of stuff. They just have to just tweak it a bit, cut that bit out at that time of the day and have it at this time of the day, or whatever, or eat a little bit more often, or a little bit more of what, that sort of thing. But so diet's really good. Sleeping's improved hugely. Hot flushes, I haven't had a hot flush since 4 weeks into the program. So we started the program at the beginning of August. I haven't had a hot flush now since September, and we're now in December. That is unreal as far as I'm concerned. I still get hot, but it's not the flush. It's a totally different thing. Occasionally, if I get a little bit hot, I just have to take my jumper off. It's not the same thing as those flushes, which for me, I know they could be different for each individual person, but for me, they used to start in my feet, and it was like an electric sort of field going all the way up my legs, up to my body, and up to my face in this huge sort of flush, like a wave. That just doesn't happen, and hasn't happened, for goodness how long. Goodness knows how long. It's great. The one huge thing, which I don't know whether this is coming over or not, but I am just so full of confidence. I can't believe I've got my energy levels back, but my anxieties have gone to a large extent, and I feel like I used to feel when I was in my 20s. I just feel brimming over with happiness, and just nothing seems to be fazing me. My stress levels have gone down hugely. And I just realised the other day, when I was thinking about this particular question, was that I've realised that I've lived with a huge amount of stress for many, many years. And I have a few stressful things here and there, but nothing like I had. And I'm just coping with it better. And I'm absolutely positive that as a result of this programme, that is the biggest, best thing that's happened to me. And I can't thank you enough for it, because I feel like I'm the old Lindsey's back now, and I just feel like I've been hibernating for donkey's years. So I'm over the moon, and everybody around me, my colleagues, everybody have been saying, "God, things have just shifted in you." And my husband said that how things have shifted and for the better, and how wonderful it is, and how much more positive I am, and glowing really. And I just feel this real wonderful positivity just inside me, so I'm extremely happy.
Wow, I saw you here. You got me crying.
I'm sorry. Well, you see, good work you've done. But it really has been phenomenal, and I cannot thank you enough. Seriously, it's been brilliant. And I would urge everybody to just really, really sit down and think, where are you right now? What are the symptoms that you're dealing with? Because you don't have to deal with these. I have colleagues at work who are suffering, and I've been doing what we've talked about this before, about what we call sistering, where, you know, us women, we get together and we talk, and we, you know, menopause shouldn't be something to not talk about. It shouldn't be a taboo subject. I work with a lot of women of a similar age to myself, and some of them a bit younger, and they're going through the perimenopausal stage, and there's just no need to suffer. There really isn't. And so I've been sort of talking about what my experience has been, and I bought your menopause book that you contributed to, and I'm going to be passing that around. I've nearly finished it, and I will be passing that around, because if I can help you to support people by telling people about this program, then I will, because I think it's fantastic. So don't cry anymore. It's been brilliant.
That was wonderful. Really wonderful. Thank you so much for that. And
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Lindsey.
I mean, this is no lie. This is absolutely, it really is fantastic. So if I go downhill, I know if things start to happen again for me, I know I need to go back to my diaries. I need to go back to the modules and say, okay, what is it that I've stopped doing that I'm not doing now, so that I can get things back on track again. It's all there. There's just so much of it as well, and it's superb. So
yeah. So you're saying that you feel armed, don't you, with everything that you need?
Yeah.
Remain this confident, vibrant, energized woman that you are today.
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, I still have a number of health issues, which we're addressing. That's fine. And I know I have. The thing is, I suppose it's about building the trust. I know that I can trust you to support me in helping me work through those things, and so our relationship, as you and my coach, will be continuing. And that's the other thing to say, is that once the program's finished, that's not the end of it. If you don't want it to be, if you want to continue working with you, there's that option. So that's the option I've taken, because I know that I don't want to stop this. I want to make sure that there's my health, if you like, is maintained, and I know that you can support me in doing that. So that's great. So
yeah, health doesn't stop in 12 weeks, does it? It's a continuation, isn't it? For
absolutely, yeah.
Your life.
Yeah, and for me, the other thing is also that I'm 52. I want to make sure that actually my health for going into older age is actually as good as it could be. I want to make sure that my bone density doesn't deteriorate, so that I'm making sure that I've got everything in place around that. I want to keep as flexible as possible, so I know what exercises, through yourself, I know what exercises are going to be good for me. That's all part of the program, of course, as well. And I sort of made a vow to myself that by the time I hit 50, I was going to be in good health, and I was. It was actually unfortunate the year after that then I realised that things weren't right, and I had fibroids and they needed to be removed, etc. and things, and it sort of put it on this, in the sense that put it on hold. But no, as I said, it's a year today that I had the operation. I'm now physically fit and well, and getting fitter, and that will continue. So I work with older people. I see older people all the time, and I want to make sure that I'm as fit as I possibly can as I get older. So it's really, really vitally important.
And you will do.
Yeah, absolutely. So.
Thank you so much for your time, and
you're very welcome.
For sharing your story with us as well.
You're very welcome indeed.
You're making me cry.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Okay, take care, Lindsey. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Take care. Bye.
Bye.